Let's go with where.
Okay, great. What's the location for him?
Playground.
You're on a playground. Let's do it.
The way you throw it is like nobody else can throw it that way, Bill. You're the best thrower in the world.
Really?
Yes.
I would not have thought that. I always think I'm off. You know what I mean? It's like everything that kind of goes just a little bit to the right.
That's called outswing. That's called outswing. When you throw it, it goes through outswing. And you want to see how I throw it? Look at
Yeah.
this. It goes straight. You want to throw it?
Um, I'm a little shy, but okay. Was that right?
Look at that. It was like 16 degrees towards the right. No one can do that. You are a genius, Bill. You need to be the captain of the team.
Oh, a leadership role? Seriously?
You have to do it this year. We will not win the championship if you don't do it. You cannot shy away from leadership, Bill. You have to do it. You are the guy who knows the outswing. No one in this world knows how to do outswing. They're all in swingers.
What? I mean, I've never been any good at it before. I'm always, rejected and ignored whenever I try to initiate a kind of a leadership thing like that.
We will shoot a video. We'll put the best camera ins. We'll show the angle of your outswing and you will show it in the public. You will shout out on top of it. This is what I did. You, if you can do it, you can be the leader.
Okay.
All right, good. All right, good. That's a great setup for the scene. We're going to stop right there and then do a tiny little tweak. We got to get on the same page about what the sport is, right? Do we know what the sport is? Ankur, did you have a sport in mind?
Actually, I had cricket in mind, but then I realized that he won't know cricket. So,
That's okay.
yeah,
That's
okay.
that's
I
okay.
thought he
Yeah, I
was
figured
talking
you.
about baseball, but cricket's
Yeah, yeah.
similar.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
figured.
So
Yeah, I
it's
figured you were
baseball.
talking about cricket because is outswing an actual term in cricket? Yeah. Okay. I figured that. So if Bill doesn't know much about cricket, that's fine. You're gonna lead him through it. You're gonna be like, look at that. You don't even know anything about the sport, and you're natural, whatever it happens to be, right? But the reason I stopped you is because yes, we need the specificity on that. Let's go ahead and make it cricket. That's fine. We also need to know, we're being also general in other examples of leadership that we have tried but been rejected, right? And we can make those up, but it'd be great if we expanded on that a little bit and had examples, right? So you can share that together. Ankur, you can absolutely remember occasions in which he tried to be a leader and it didn't work out. Bill, obviously, you can come up with times where were trying to be a leader and it didn't work out. Right? Just a little bit of expansion on that will help us know why he has such trepidation from stepping into a leadership role. Right. Also, we all recognize what kind of story this is, right? Like, what more than likely happens with Bill's character?
He should take up the role at the end, or
Yeah.
he should.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have the guy who feels kind of insecure. Doesn't think he's qualified, but he has this outsized talent. He doesn't even realize he has it. And then something happens in which he then steps into the role that he was supposed to be in the first place. We've seen this story many, many times. Okay, so just a little bit of expansion on other examples of times when you've tried to become a leader and people have said, "No, we're not following you." Okay, great. Jump back in.
I mean, Ankur, you know, when I was in school, I felt I was good at certain things, but I was always in the theater, and I was I was trying to be stage manager for the shows, and because everybody thought I was different and I didn't understand things like regular people, that they just went, huh, don't want to bother with you. Let's get Robert to do it. They didn't think I was capable.
Bill, did you stay long enough? Did you stay long enough for them to understand who you were? Did they see your special talent like you have in cricket right now? This ball, which goes with 16-degree extra outswing, is just impossible to do. If you had staged there, if you stayed there as being the stage manager long enough, they would have seen your talent. They would have seen your talent of talking to people, managing stuff. You're so good at that.
Wow. I mean, I never thought about that.
Absolutely. You just have to stay long enough. And for this, you have a natural talent. You have a natural talent for talking to people, raising their morale up as well. You are such a good listener.
Well,
You
thank you,
ought to be,
Ankur.
yeah.
Wow.
And when you get stuff of like for us to eat for the team, those 11 players eating those 11 burgers that you get, like everybody forgets that. Who gets 11 burgers for 11 team members? It's just you. People will get 10, 9, 8, 7. They would think people might not turn up, but you always know that people will turn up. That's the quality of a leader. That's a quality of a guy who knows how to bring people together.
Well, how do I do this? You just like anoint me?
No, there is a registration form. I have got it for you. I knew we'll have this conversation, and I've got the registration form. I've filled everything in it that I knew about you, but there are a couple of things which I don't, and this is the form.
You know what? This is really good.
Sign it.
You got a pen?
Of course, I knew you need a
Hand
pen,
me a pen.
and here's the pen.
Yay! Okay, cool, awesome, great guys, awesome. That's a great scene. That's also a sign of internal conflict, right? Everybody saw what the conflict was. Yeah, that's Bill not knowing whether or not he's good enough his character is good enough to step into this role that Ankur wants him to step into. Now, the improvisers have as much freedom as they'd like to extend that conflict as long as they need to, right? So it's Bill's choice, which is he made a great choice on the timing. He's like, you know what? This is great. I'm going to sign it. And that ends the scene. So as soon as he decides whether he's going to reject that role or he's going to accept it, that's the end of the scene, right? In terms of like expansion, the kind of thing like talking about the stage manager job, absolutely, that's all expansion. That's why he's nervous about it. And Bill can continue to make up as many stories as he wants, as can Ankur, right? Especially if you feel like, well, let's if you're searching for like the comedy or if you're searching for laughs in the scene, that's probably where it comes from, is in that expansion, right? Because we start with something very serious, like, oh, I wanted to be a stage manager, and we can get more absurd as we go along there. Ankur's like, I know, man, it goes back to your childhood. You're like, hey, we're going to be at the birthday party together. We'll all be blowing up balloons. And, you were the only one. You're the only one that blew up a balloon. Nobody else blew up balloons. Everybody loves blowing up balloons, but only you did it, right? You can come up with more and more things in which Bill has tried to become a leader and he's been rejected. And they can get it as absurd as they want it to get, as far as like making the scene, if they feel like the scene needs a more humorous aspect to it. But the scene's played sincerely. The characters are invested. Bill's absolutely playing that vulnerability really well. You can feel his vulnerability where he really is open about feeling somewhat some trepidation about taking on that role, but then he decides, you know what, this is great. And Ankur has convinced him that he's going to go ahead. He's going to take that position. Any questions? Any questions or comments before we take a break on that scene?
Yeah, I was a little wary of the absurdity because like I brought the burgers in, and I was like, does it hurt the 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 scene because he's like very emotional right now? So if I bring in too much absurdity, would it hurt the cause? Like I did a thing on 11 people, like which wasn't really needed, I guess. Um, so
Yeah, that's a really great thing to observe in the scene while you're in the scene, Ankur. That's exactly what you need to be doing constantly as an improviser, is evaluating the tone of the scene, right? Because forcing it into an absurd place when it doesn't want to go there, that's not always the best choice. I think absolutely you could bring in the I don't think you crossed the line by bringing in the hamburgers. And ideally, Bill is also listening to your offers as well. And if you are offering to make it more absurd, like if you are coming up with more absurd examples of his amazing leadership, it's like, hey, you remember Tony's wife and you delivered their child? Nobody knew you had obstetrician skills, but you have a knack for it,
Yeah.
you see what I mean? Like, you could
Yeah.
continue to build him up as this amazing guy, and Bill's going to catch that, and he's going to continue to be like, hey, I don't know, man. It just seemed the way the child came out of the birth canal, it just seemed so natural to me, or whatever, right? And he has no idea he has all these amazing skills, right? Do you remember when you brokered like world peace at the last G8 summit, whatever, right? We can make it more and more absurd. But the point being is that if you are going that direction by degrees, which you were being really sweet to like, respect the tone of the scene. But if you start moving in that direction, Bill's going to catch that, I think. Your scene partner in general is going to catch that and go, okay, we're going to start to build this up and find more ridiculous places for it to go. Does everybody catch that? Because Ankur was doing a really great job of coming up with, because he has an objective. He wants Bill to take this leadership position. So Ankur's like coming up with all these great reasons why he should be a leader, and that absolutely can build and get more ridiculous if he wanted to, in the same way that Bill could continue to say, no, I can't, because he can keep coming up with leadership things in which he was rejected, right? If he wants to, and they can get more absurd too, right? The scene as it was, fantastic, right? It's very sincere. Bill's playing vulnerably. Ankur's playing very positively. He really believes in him, and he's not being cynical about it. He doesn't pull the rug out from under him. It's a really lovely scene. It's really nicely played. Any final comments before we take a quick break? Alrighty, y'all. Let's take a 5-minute break. See you in a bit.